Okay, so let's move to the question 3. Question 3 trying to let us to calculate the size of Blue Ridge University. We've been talking about like how to calculate the size last week. So this one's quite similar, and let's see how to do that. And we're gonna use the sample from Blue Ridge University. We already installed this database in our SQL Studio, right? The first one, and trying to calculate the score like for different students, something like that, and for different professor. And they are required us to calculate the number of rows in the fact tables. And also we need to estimate the total size of the table, the fact table. Like the first one, which means like calculate how many record we have in the fact table, right? So let's take a look of how is the database diagram looks like. We have the central table, which is the fact students' grades, and we also have 4 different dimensions, right? So including like professor, course section, students, and period. And so in the fact table, there are the key values here, and we also have course grades and numeric grades. If we are trying to calculate the rows, like different how many records we have in the fact table, number of rows in the fact tables, we need to figure out what that means. Like for each record, which means started with the student ID, the specific person, and has like take a specific section with one professor and in a specific period, maybe like 2024 fall or like 2023 spring, something like that, and what is the course grades he got, like yeah, so the numeric grades he got. To make it clear to understand, I make a table. This is the table, the fact table, how it really looks like, and we have different facts, right? And which including student ID, section ID, professor ID, period ID. They are the primary key or say foreign key. And we also have the methods like use A, B, C to like course grades and numeric grades here. And we need to calculate what we need to calculate is how many records we have, like students we have, right? So the student ID could be replicated because like in this semester you are taking CIS 3060, but in the previous class, the previous semester you might taking like 1060, right? So like the student ID is replicated, and the section IDs is also like different students might take this like same sections, and the section ID and the professor ID, they are cohesive, right? So each section we only has a specific one professor teaching it. And also the period ID is, if you remember that, it's like talk about if it's spring semester, fall semester, or summer semester. And like go back to the questions, they tell us we have 30 period, right? A total 10 years. That's a lot. Yeah. So for each year, spring, fall, and summer, so that is why it's 30 period. And also we have 40 students. And this is just like a proper rate, like 40 students. Each course is 40 students. And there is 200 professors. And we also have 500 course section. Did you notice like we have more the course sections? Like each course section has only one professor, right? We have 200 professors with 500 course sections, which means like one professor teach at least like 2 or 3 course. That happens, it's common, at least for me, right? So if we want to calculate it, so we know like student ID will be like 40. So right now, can I just draw something here maybe? Okay, so I'll see 40. And how many sections we have? 500 here. Okay, so you might notice I didn't multiple this professor ID. Like professor, we have 200, right? The reason is because for each sections, we only able has one professor, right? For examples, for like these students, when like these students taking this 2001 section, and the professor will be associated with this ID. It won't change. So this part, we won't use it. So we can use 40 multiple, 500 multiple, 30, and got the result. It's about like 60, 600,000 record. Okay, so this is how many rows in the fact table. If you really want to like multiple the professor ID, you can multiply by 1. Because the section already able to represent the professor. If you multiple the other 200, that is too much, right? So because like for each sections, we have the specific only one professor. We won't have multiple professors to teach this class, right? So that is why we only use one here. So this is the how many rows we have to in the fact table. That's questions A, and questions 2 is trying to calculate the total size of fact tables, and that each field has 5 bytes. So if we want to do it, now we need to use the number of rows we have in the fact tables. And how many dimensions we have? We have 6 fields, right? And also we have 5 bytes. And we got the result, and the units has to be bytes as well. So you can calculate it by yourself. I won't calculate it for you. But that's all you need to do to know. Got it? The six right here, right? The 6 field, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So that's why we use this 600,000 multiplied by 6. And for each row, it's 5 bytes. So we multiply by 5. So the overall will be the total size of this fact table. That's all said. And one more thing. We haven't talked about like the homework, the assignment 302, the last questions, right? Let me try to open it. And that we have here. Cool. So we already got this one down, and this one you need to have your diagram here, and we already create the database diagram in the class. Remember, we draw them together, so you just paste it here, snip and paste it here. And we also calculate this one. For this one, did you say like I'll quickly talk about this one. So we have 2,000 products, right? 500 100 location, right? And with like for each different products, it might sells in 100 location. So that is why we must multiply by 2,000 with this 100 location. If like these products only sells in one specific location, it's not sell in other locations, then you don't need to multiply by the location. But since the products could be sold in 100 different locations, then you have to multiply this one. So that is why we use 2,000 multiplied by 100 multiplied by the days we have. So that's the size of the rows we have in the fact tables. And then we also including like how many field. This one it also has 6 field, and each field will be 4 bytes. So this is the result. Okay, so last one will be this one. Instead of like draw this questions is not same with this one. So for questions 1, we're gonna create a data diagram, use a SQL Studio. This one, we're gonna use our like diagram tools, the apdiagram.net to draw this one, because we need to draw it, right? Okay, so if you draw it, it should look like this way. I won't teach you how to draw it because this one, remember, it's almost same with what we did in the question 2 in the lab, right? They're quite similar and a little bit different because we name them different, also like have different attribute. Just make minor change of the tables, then follow with what you have in this dimension table and paste it here, then you're all set. Okay, so just let me know if you have any questions and just email me, or if you want, we can meet via Zoom if you got a lot of trouble. Okay, stay safe. I'll see you next week.